Sometimes you have to learn how to take the race outside of the equation and listen to the message. And one message that I really just listened to that really inspired me in a different manner was the one from Andrew Tate, the one that says his last message to the world, and he gave it in 2026. He's talking about masculinity and civilization and warrior natures and things like that. And I'm real big in the etymology of a name and people living up to their name. So I know what my duty is in a lot of different manners than other people would even assume, right? But I did like the message that he was trying to pass. And I understand because I like to listen and take the race out of situations, out of discussions. That's why even though Elon Musk said that he's doing the thing, and I didn't hear him say he's a white supremacist, to be honest, but I heard other people say that he's a white supremacist and then they play that footage. So, I mean, you're not just throwing up gang signs and you ain't no gang member, you know what I'm saying? So, if that's the gang that he's in, that's the gang that he's in. But I mean, we've all been accustomed to gang life where I'm from. So, I mean, you just got to respect boundaries because gangs know that they need other gangs still to survive. Or, never mind, let me not go too deep into that one. But, you need other gangs to survive. So, I mean, we got to coexist at the end of the day. And we understood that in prison, in the jail system. Like, I'm in there with Latin Kings, and I'm not in there with nobody that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? And then especially, there was a couple of veterans that was in there, but most of them dudes was not nothing, bruh. So, but I had a good time. Like, they understood who I was, and they saw God work, you know? And like you could like really ask people who I was locked up with in Bear County of their experience of me in jail. Like, I don't have to lie and make stuff up. But I listen to their stories and their backgrounds and their opinions, and they listen to my story, and they changed inside after hearing what I went through. Because, mind you, when I was locked up at Bear County, I wasn't even guilty of committing the crime. It's your car, your drugs, but it wasn't my drugs in my car. I was giving somebody a ride. And that's the honest truth to God. Like, I gave up the weed and the pistol that I had. You know what I'm saying? But after hearing my story and me going on the run for 8.5 years and hearing all the other shit that I was going through, something triggered in them, and not in a bad way, but in a self accountable way. And they made choices to change their lives or change the way that they carried themselves or change their attitude, added patience. There was a lot of things that I noticed they changed about themselves while I was in there with them. And there was a lot of respect going around. Our pod wasn't like other pods that was disorderly. Our pod had order. Our pod was like family. In our pod, everybody knew their position. When it was time to clean the tables, when it was time to sweep and mop and make the beds, and they saw me pick up slack where others lacked. And instead of telling me that I'm doing too much, like some did at first, but then they learned who I am and they learned the way that I move and change others. They wanted that same effect. So they started to move like I moved. They started to pick up slack where others lacked. Then there became balance in the whole system. Even the hard times when they started rating us, they rated us like three different fucking times. Like, we had snitches. Like, bruh, we in jail. You know what I'm saying? This is real life, real talk. We getting shook down like randomly and all that other stuff. Had to spread our cheeks and all that stuff multiple times. This is my real experience. And this is only for a short amount of time. I can only imagine the others that was locked up in there longer. But I was able to relate to them on a whole nother level. And the worst of their struggles that they would endure while they were in lockup, I was right there with them. I didn't just come for the good time. I didn't just come for show. We all grew. And I was being able to be in a trustee pod so I can go and cook. And I was on a breakfast shift, but sometimes I did lunch and dinner. And you can go and get their testimony of the change in condition from meals to cleanliness of the plates to cleanliness of the dishes when I was there. That made them change and do better. And I didn't have to be all big and broadly and go knock somebody out my first day in jail to achieve this. I was just me. So you hear these dudes that tell you, oh man, you gotta go find the biggest nigga and knock him out when you get in jail. I've seen some youngsters try to do that, bro. I'm not even gonna tell you what happened to them. I'm not gonna tell you what happened to them. But I didn't go that route. I'll let you know that much. In these minutes that, very few people ever watch are some of the most enlightening minutes that I share with you because it's the real experience of what made me the way that I am. I can dive deeper, but no, these are moments that I've clocked off in my Sonic, how he races through the thing and he has to hit those timestamps, or like in Need for Speed when you gotta hit the little time to get more time extended. So like I did a lot of those early in life so I could be, because I like them games. And I like to live a certain lifestyle at first. Then I found out that that dangerous lifestyle, that thrilling lifestyle, that on the edge lifestyle, that wasn't the lifestyle that I should continue to live. So I changed my lifestyle. And that edge node shit that Elon Musk talking about, I created something that uses that type of communication technology, and I just changed the wordplay. I just translate it different now because of all the experience that I've had to know how to translate it or transmute it, however you want to talk about it. And I'm just at a new level in life. And there's so much more to accomplish. There's so much more to do. There's so much more to build. There's so much more to transform. And that's all I'm here for now.